So here is a dreadful long and synthetic division. So here's what we're going to try to do. We are going to try to divide this polynomial p of x with this d of x, x minus 2. So I'm going to show you two different ways. So long division and synthetic division. So this is how we're basically going to do it. So usually the problem will probably look something like this. The p of x divided by the d of x. And the way that we're going to do it first is with long division. So I will go ahead and put the dividend, which is usually the number on the top here, 2x squared minus 5x minus 7. And then I will put x minus 2, the divisor, over here. Okay? And the thing that we really want to be able to do is we want to be able to divide kind of the way that we were doing it in the old days when we had just regular numbers. So if I want to divide 116 divided by 10, then I will just go ahead and just do 116 divided by 10. See, 10 does not fit into 1, but it can fit into 11 one time. Multiply that, and I get, subtract, get the 1 by itself, bring down the 16, right? And then we can see that this can also be a 1. Subtract it, get a 6. We have a remainder of 6, and we can write this as 6 over 10. That's basically the same notions that we want to get. So notice that x minus 2 here cannot fit into 2x squared, but it can fit into two different terms, 2x squared minus 5. So what we want to be able to do is think about, okay, well, I want to go ahead and eliminate this 2x squared. The way that I'm going to do that is by multiplying it by a 2x. So if I multiply this x by a 2x, I will get a 2x squared. So I'm going to write the 2x up here because it kind of lines out the x's with the x's. So 2x times x gives me 2x squared. 2x minus 2 gives me negative 4x. Okay, so we're going to leave that by itself. Now, what happens when I go ahead and put this on the bottom? Well, we subtract. That's what we kind of did over here. So this is going to be a subtraction, and this one's going to also change sign. This is going to go into an addition. So this is going to be subtraction. This is going to be addition. Notice that this goes away, and I'm left with the negative x. I'm going to bring down this negative 7, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I want to get rid of this minus x. So I should go ahead and multiply by a minus x over here. All right, so I'm going to multiply by minus x. Now, why won't I do it by positive x? Oh, I'm so sorry. I messed up. Okay, I want to get rid of this minus x. I have an x, so I'm going to multiply it by a minus 1 because that's 1 times x will give me a negative x. Now, why won't I do it by a positive 1? Well, if I did positive 1, I would get an x here. And remember that it changes sign, and then it won't cancel out. I'll just get negative 2x. So I'm going to multiply it by a negative 1. Multiply it, and I get negative x. Multiply this by a negative 1, and I get positive 2. And notice that once it's down here, I'm going to have to switch the signs. So now this one is not going to change into a positive. This one's not going to change into a negative. Okay, so then this goes away, and I'm left with a negative 9. So what am I going to do with this negative 9? This negative 9 is my remainder term. I'm going to add it, negative 9 over x minus 2. So my solution, when I divide this thing out, 2x squared minus 5x minus 7 divided by x minus 2, what I'm going to get is just 2x minus 1 plus minus 9 over x minus 2. You can go ahead and put the negative over here if you want to, but this is basically how you're going to do this problem. Okay? Now, there's another way. That was long division. It can be a little bit computational. There's also synthetic division. Now, synthetic division, what it does kind of the same thing. It's kind of like you have the division thing, but it's upside down. And what we're looking for is we're looking now for the coefficients. So we're going to look at the coefficients. This is going to be 2, negative 5, and negative 7. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and set our divisor equal to 0. Okay, so our divisor, the d of x, I'm going to set it equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0. So x equals 2. And this 2 is going to go right here. What you can think about is that this 2 actually changes sign over here. And the way that this is going to work, we're going to go ahead and first bring down this 2. And then we're going to multiply it by this number. So 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. And then I'm going to add this together. Negative 5 plus 4 gives me negative 1. Negative 1 times 2, that gives me negative 2. Negative 7 plus negative 2 gives me negative 9. Okay, and that's it. And notice that these terms are actually the numbers that we had here. Okay, so the way that I remember how to write this is that, okay, well, first of all, I started off with a degree 2 polynomial because this was 2x squared minus 5x minus 7. So this is a degree 2 polynomial. Now this is going to be a degree 1 polynomial. So this is going to be 2x minus 1. And then this is my remainder term. So this is going to be plus negative 9 divided by my divisor, which in this case is x minus 2. And notice that I get exactly the same thing. Okay, so in the next video, I will do a little bit more problems to kind of do more synthetic division.